I'm going dumb. I'm trying to live it and stunt. Get anything that I want whenever I want. It's okay to be broke. It's not okay to be.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
And today we are back to talk about Bel-Air. We have been loving the season so far, and we are really excited to talk about episodes 7 and 8 tonight. But before we jump into our discussion, please make sure you subscribe to our channel, like this video, and click that thumbs up button and the notification bell so you get alerted whenever we post. So yeah, we got the housekeeping out the way. So let's go ahead and jump into some juicy topics, because these episodes, I know we're going to have a whole lot to say about a lot of people. I was going to start off with Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv, because they provided us some juicy content last episodes, and you know, their marital issues we had some strong opinions about. So it seems like they put everything to rest and kind of reconciled, and now they are going on vacation. They are there with Lamarcus's parents, as well as two other friends, Caleb and Tiana, who definitely shook things up for them. Do y'all have any thoughts on Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil deciding that they were going to explore with other people within their relationship, kind of taking notes from Tiana and Omar?
Yeah, at the end of the day, they didn't go through with it.
Right.
They couldn't bring themselves to do it, but they, as far as exploring, I wasn't mad at them, especially the balcony action. I wasn't mad at them.
I was really shocked to see them switch partners.
Yes, I was like, this is really spicy, isn't
it? Look, y'all. I'm gonna see how I can put this. Ain't no way somebody gonna be. No, I'm sorry. I'm
with you, Ron.
I was feeling all kind of negatives with that. I'm sorry. It's just no way. I mean, you might think it in your mind. You might have a dream about doing something like that. But in reality, no, ain't nobody touching my wife except me. Okay.
Yeah.
At least let me say, as far as I know, nobody touching my wife but me. Because if you're going to go so far as to go in a room and start kicking it that way, you might as well go all the way.
I don't know about that.
I know. I mean, look, you come out of the room and say, "Did you do it?" Nah, I don't know. I wasn't in the room. So you might as well, if you're going to go that far, you might as well just go all the way. And
they weren't ready. They weren't ready.
Well, that's my point. That's my point. If you're not, look, no, I'm sorry. Can't happen.
No, I feel you. I feel you. I was ready to say, I mean, I'm not mad at them for trying to spice it up. And when I say spice it up, I ain't talking about swinging. I'm just talking about just keeping the fire burning. So I'm not mad at that.
There are ways to spice up your marriage without having to go elsewhere. Okay? I'm sorry.
I agree. That's what I'm saying.
I agree with spicing it.
Right. I agree with spicing it up. I'm not saying going that route. Okay. Like I said, I said I was cool with the balcony. That was cool with me. But the situation with did y'all recognize Tiana? Y'all didn't recognize Tiana?
No, I you know what? I didn't.
Tiana is Carrie from Power Goes 2.
Okay.
She just had her hair in braids. And the hubby, did y'all recognize him from Insecure?
Yes, from Insecure.
Yeah, I recognize him, but I was so blinded by what they were planning to do. I wasn't trying to recognize anything except what the heck are they getting ready to get into?
I thought it was a terrible idea, especially, them coming off the heels of having infidelity issues in marriage already. So I was like, you don't open up your marriage after that, especially if you already are questioning somebody's loyalty to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because that would breed into other things. Because most swingers, not most, I shouldn't say most, but some of the swingers that I have known, one falls out from because the other gets more involved or wants to get more involved. And see, there's nothing you can do, because once you open that Pandora's box, hard to close.
Yep. Yeah, so I was like, I don't know about that one, but it seemed to have brought them closer, and they were able to, find some relief from their issues or whatnot. But it doesn't last long because Phil got a whole bunch of other stuff going on professionally.
Yeah.
The activists, I mean, they have come together. The community is setting up these meetings and whatnot. And in the first episode, Will actually tried to get ahead of it. He went and visited Omar and was talking about what Black Cess was aiming to do in the community, and even offered to try to, get Omar's help in trying to save Charlie's possibly and bringing him in on the mission. Omar wasn't feeling it. He was like, everybody can't come. And basically he's saying the survival of the fittest. He told Will, do you feel bad for all the people you left behind in Philly?
That was a perfect point. He couldn't answer it.
And he has some points, but I get Will's optimism too, and him wanting to be down with the community, because everybody doesn't get opportunities. Everybody doesn't come from access to those type of resources. So I see both sides of the issue.
Yeah, I mean, there are two sides to the coin, but the question is, what is the community doing to keep Jazz from losing his spot from tax evasion? I mean, from not paying his taxes. So one or two things are going to happen. Omar's going to get it, or IRS is going to get it. Those are your choices. The community can go up in arms all they like, but if you're not going to give him the resources to keep it open, Mr. and Mrs. Community, if you have nothing to offer to keep it open, then Uncle Sam will come in and surely take what's due his. So what do you do in the process?
Yeah.
I understand the nostalgic aspects of it, but the reality is it's either going to go one or two ways: with money in your pocket or you being a bum on the street. You choose.
Well, Yolanda is not trying to let the ship sink, and she's firing everybody up. She's clearly a problem for Omar and for his investors.
Yes.
And when money starts walking away from you, you got some incentive to, put that protesting stuff to bed. And the protest actually went left because they were supposed to be going there to maybe just vandalize a few things, send a message. But, there was that lone wolf who decided he was going to take it up a step and commit arson.
There's always one.
Yeah. And so we find out later on that Will was actually present, which we're like, we know why he went and did it. We're going to talk about why he ended up picking a side, as he said. But, I was like, Will, you really don't even know what they had planned. You attended one community meeting and Jazz told him not to get in the middle of things. I mean, Jazz was down for the cause, and we know that he eventually got arrested as well.
Right.
He did try to give him plausible deniability. Like, don't come.
Right.
I don't want you caught up in this.
Right.
Exactly. And now here it is. Will's presence there has, caught Carlton's attention, and Carlton's like, what are you doing? Like, we're trying to build a brand and a business, and you over here tearing down what we're trying to build. And so Carlton very clearly takes Uncle Phil's side in things. And I was like, I get what Carlton is saying, and they butt heads so much. It's like they cannot keep the peace between them for 5 seconds. And it's very clear they come from very different worlds. And so I don't know that they need to be in business together.
It's just that Will, and I said it earlier, it's like he doesn't see the forest for the trees in terms of what he wants to jump into. You go head first and you think you're diving in 10 feet of water, it's only 3 feet. And you gotta scope the whole thing out. And do you really need to be involved when your uncle is on another plane? That you could have sat that one out, because it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yep.
And sometimes you just gotta understand where you are in the mix of things and say, hey, I'm gonna sit this one out, because it's a lose-lose for me no matter which way I go.
And now they're even involved with the DA, Lisa's dad, which I'm like, that brings a whole nother level of attention to that situation. So, I mean, it's only a matter of time. We know that towards the end of the 8th episode that Jazz actually went and filled Uncle Phil in and was like, Jazz was at the site of the arson. He's been arrested. So I think it's only a matter of time before he realizes that Will was a participant as well.
I think so. Or either Carlton's gonna let it slip. Either they're gonna find out, maybe they'll see footage or whatever, or Carlton's gonna let it slip.
Yeah. And, I did appreciate Phil for picking a side. He actually decided to step away from Omar because they couldn't come to a compromise. And Viv assured him that you will get by with integrity in your firm versus compromise. And so I think that's what gave him the reassurance to go ahead and make that move. Because he was really worried. He was concerned about leaving Erica. He had lost all his clients. He was like, I got employees that are concerned too. So what it looked like me leaving yet another project.
But that's what I was saying last week when we were talking about it. I understood his dilemma because this is his client and stuff. But Jazz is family and stuff. And it does come to a point that you got to, I know we all got to pay bills. We all got, responsibilities and stuff like that. But sometimes you do got to be able to look at the person in the mirror. And if it does impact your integrity, sometimes you got to make that call. And I'm glad he did make that call.
Yeah.
I'm sure he made the call on the basis that, he has a nest egg somewhere and he can live off on it for a while until he gains clients. But the average person you only had that one client that was keeping your business afloat. I think if I were I would have tried to grab some of those clients I had with Erica, whether she said I could do it or not. I'm still thinking, hey, I'd still try to, coerce him to come over my way, something, because that one client routine, then you're a slave to your client.
Yeah, he ran. Look, he ran for DA. And pulled out before and stuff. He has a lot of I think that Uncle Phil has a lot of expertise and stuff. He has, look, he's in a fraternity and stuff. He knows all these people, and I think Uncle Phil will be fine. I think Uncle Phil will be fine, and I think he'll be able, because he's sought after and everything, and because he did represent a high profile client like Omar. Who knows what that might be too.
Yeah. I also wonder if his stance changes now that he's no longer involved with Omar. Maybe he will try to represent the community's interests and be side with Jazz now that there's no conflict of interest.
Yeah, I think he's gonna want to help. I think once he finds out he's locked up and everything, and not saying that Jazz should have been a part of arson or anything like that. Not condoning that, but he might respect the fact that Jazz was, fighting for his family's legacy and stuff, and he might end up defending Jazz legally. That's probably going to be his client.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, first of all, Uncle Phil, I don't think is a defense attorney, and so he would probably have to hire someone, or he probably knows someone that can. I'm talking in the real world that could defend Jazz. But see, Jazz, the problem is y'all took it to another level. See,
they did,
and now it's not just a matter of getting him out of jail. You may get him out with bail, but arson is here's the point. What does Omar do? Does he press charges or does he let it go? If he presses charges,
he probably gonna press charges. That's what I said. He's gonna need representation. He might end up having to go to court and all this stuff. Right. Yeah. I mean,
the best thing Uncle Phil can do is probably talk Omar out of not pressing charges.
Right. Yeah.
But he still has a firm, and he has other. Even if Uncle Phil himself couldn't represent him, he has other lawyers that work for him. Like
Yeah, but it's a slam dunk. They caught him on video, and my point being is, I think for Uncle Phil, the best thing he can do for Jazz is to try to talk Omar out of not pressing charges. Hey, even if he has to say, "Hey, I'll pay for the damages," something to that regard. But I think the best thing for everybody, because there's no getting out of that. You were caught red-handed. So whether you do time or your probation, you're still on the record of arsonic. What was it?
And he's going to be an accessory because the other guy actually did the arson.
Hey, just because you didn't have the match in your hand doesn't make you
right. That's what I say. He can be an accessory.
Exactly. Well, yeah, and sometimes the accessory is just like the person.
Sometimes they get the same. So they get the same punishment.
Breaking and entering, destruction of private property.
Yeah, vandalism.
Vandalism, arsenic. Oh, come on, those are charges that.
Those are serious. Yeah, they're serious charges. Yes, those are serious charges, and then it's not going to be a good look, knowing that Will was there too, and it's going to be a wrinkle all the way around because it's going to be an issue for Uncle Phil, but the DA is Lisa's dad. So, Lisa's dad is going to feel a way about, Will, who's dating his daughter.
Mm-hmm. He felt a certain way about him anyways.
Exactly. He already felt a certain way from him. And he's going to be like, and this is why I want you to deal with him.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, so you bringing up a good point with all of this, and I don't know where it goes, but I hope that Jazz can come out clean because he really was doing it for a good reason. So I'm hoping that he can still salvage his family legacy and continue on the business. And even Uncle Phil, when he was on vacation, he had a conversation with the fellas about generational wealth. So he seems to want to align himself in that direction. It's like, how can you blame Jazz for wanting the same thing? He's just going about it a way different way.
But Tiara, peaceful protesting is one thing.
Well, that's why I said he went about it the wrong way.
And that's my point. So, you're smart enough and you are adult enough to know that peaceful protesting is one thing, but vandalism and breaking and entering and all those private property destruction and all that, you don't want to be a part of that. You could have just as well said, hey, I'm all for the fight, but we can't take the fight this way. And if those fools want to go that way, then let them go that way. You didn't have to be a part of that, because now, like you said, it just puts you all, it takes whatever light you had on you is now done.
Yeah, I agree. It made the situation worse for sure. And, so this is like the big source of fighting between Carlton and Will, this whole topic, but it actually started off, in the 7th episode where, Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv are out of town. Carlton and Will invite some friends over. They have Amira and Jackie there. And of course, Lisa and the co-worker, Zaire. So Amira, girl, stirring the pot for real.
Okay, let me say.
Did I say we won't revisit this conversation? I said last week.
All right.
I told y'all
I got some flack.
Amira was messy.
Yeah, I got a little flack on that. I got some flack on that. And somebody said, what did they say? Bless Ron's heart for trying to take up for Amira. Look here. Okay, so yes, she is messy. And no, I am not trying to take up for her, but I now kind of get where she's coming from.
No, how do you get where she's coming from?
That game was so unnecessary. That was a messy game. If they're trying to have a good time and they're in the pool, hot tub, whatever and stuff, that was not the game to play. That was a mess. That was a messy game.
Yeah, but look what came out of it though. She was able to at least open Will's eyes to say, hey, you can't be everybody's friend. You got to take a side. And to some degree it's true. I mean, the truth that came out from that game was necessary. How it was presented.
One truth that one
truth. It was messy. Does Zaire and the crew need to know that Lisa was Carlton's first? Like nobody played.
But see, my point is, don't play the game. But see, if you play
that's why they shouldn't have played that game in the first place.
Exactly.
It was very uncomfortable.
If you play,
it was very uncomfortable.
But if you play the game, don't blame the game for what.
And Lisa need to know that that's why I said they shouldn't have played the game at all.
Exactly.
When they, as soon as they said that, I'd have been like, nah, let's play another game. Exactly. I would not have been down with that game.
But they were curious too.
Did Lisa need to know that Will and Jackie were intimate? No. So that's why I said. So she stirred up a whole lot of mess.
Mm-hmm.
Look. Oh God, how do I say this? Okay. It's like having paint and several paintbrushes, and we're saying we're gonna paint that person's house over there a different color. Everybody grab a brush. Well, if you know that that's wrong or it could cause a problem, why bother this? Why bother to get involved with it at all? You telling me that Amira is messy? Well, they all were messy because you should have left the game alone. You should have said, Amira, if you got another game, we'll play that. Checkers, I don't care what it is. But if you know what was involved, you know the deal with those kinds of games, and you want to play it anyway. Why? Because you're curious. You are just as curious as she is telling her.
They were just trying to be cooperative. That's all. And they should have shut it down. Yes. She shouldn't have brought that game to their little pool party. And it dampened the mood too.
It did. It caused fight between everybody there.
It dampened the mood. They were supposed to be having a good time. It brought everything down. And then on top of that, Lisa finds out that she's still on the booger sugar.
Yeah. In love with the cocoa.
Curiosity kills the cat.
So, she told her she said to go in the bag and get something. She told Lisa to get something out of her bag, and then was stupid enough to have that in there. And then she made the comment like, today is the anniversary of my sister's passing.
I was waiting
for Said that the other day. Exactly. She said that so I was like, okay, I can see if she said this is around the time that my sister passed and stuff, but she said it was the exact thing. Said it was the exact date of Carlton. So I was like, so she lying?
Yeah. So now that's where I was waiting for somebody to catch that. It wasn't brought up. It wasn't brought up again.
Lisa wouldn't know that because
I know. I was hoping
she told Carlton that.
I know, but I was hoping that Lisa would have said, and she said she did because because of her
sisters,
dying or what have you. I was just so hoping that would come out. Lying. Yeah, I could. Okay, let me go back. Let me just.
I was about to say.
Okay. Yeah. How many things have to happen before you see that?
I know.
That ain't even the end of it.
I know.
Right.
I don't want to get any more ink on me trying to be stupid. I'm not stupid, and I'm just saying.
No, you just have a big heart. Bless your heart, like our spotter said. Bless your heart.
No, I see where she went wrong, and she is, she's a fireball. I mean, but she's that type. You either gonna have that type of friend or you're not. Because somebody like that, you don't have to burn me but once, and I know where you stand. So the point is, you either gonna have that kind of friend or you're not.
Yeah, and with Amira, she has proven that she's very manipulative.
Yeah.
She's showing her colors. And so she's using the anniversary of the sisters that who knows if she even has a sister or if her sister is even dead.
Exactly.
She's using that sob story to get her out of situations with people. And then, in episode 8, she confronts Will because obviously Jackie had a conversation with Will and told him that she had found the drugs in Amira's bag. And then, obviously Will has a conversation with Amira and he knows about it. So, Amira tells him, why would Carlton believe you? Like, she basically trying to twist it. Like, she can manipulate Carlton into believe in her and just ignoring what Will is saying. And
I'm
family.
I was like,
she's wild. I don't know what. It must be the drugs.
Yeah, I was like, she thinks she got Carlton like that. She think he's that whipped that he ain't gonna believe his own family.
Well, she's been putting it on him now.
She sure has.
She has Carlton open and everything, and that's why I'm like, I don't know that she's a good influence.
She's a horrible influence, and meanwhile, Carlton's out here buying anniversary gifts, and Lisa tried to give him the hint, like, I don't know, but he thinks everybody is hating on his relationship. It's like, no, she's legitimately terrible for you.
She was trying not to snitch on her then, because she knew at that point when he showed her the necklace that she was, back on the stuff. But she was trying to keep Amira's confidence.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So, with Amira, she manipulates yet again. Right after, the pitch and everything goes down, which I want to talk about how Carlton and Will got into that big blow up prior to the pitch. because it was over Amira. Carlton was like, you're withholding information. Why does everybody feel like I can't handle things? Like, are you suggesting that I wouldn't be able to carry through the presentation knowing this?
Exactly.
And it's like, I don't know. Like, Carlton,
Exactly.
honestly, he's been kind of erratic. 1 minute he's at the country club fine, next minute he's running out the door because he's triggered. It's like, I don't know. Maybe it would have.
What was that old movie? What was that movie? You Can't Handle the Truth. That's correct.
Right.
You can't handle the truth.
So I didn't blame Will for not telling him right away.
Exactly.
Yeah. He was like, I'll tell you after the pitch. And Carlton demanded that he tell him right then, and then was shook. And was going to blow the pitch. And I said, see, this is just why he didn't want to tell you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And at that pitch, I was concerned because Will was taking it somewhere where I was like, where you going with this, bro? Where you going with this?
Look, and the look on Quentin's face, I was like, oh, this ain't going well, because his face says it all, like he's blowing it.
No,
yeah. And they already got into a fight in front of him. So he's like, y'all really about to blow this opportunity.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they were able to get it together. Carlton came in and saved the day yet again. One thing about Carlton, he knows his stuff.
He's the guy. That's business acumen. That's who Carlton is. And if that's why I say, y'all, you work best when you do what you do best and let me do what I do best.
Yep.
I think Will could be a better marketer because he's friendly, he's open, and people tend to, he's kind of playful. People like that. So yeah, charismatic is the word I'm looking for. And I think that would be better for Will and let Carlton handle the business side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Done.
That sounds good.
Exactly.
Done.
And as soon as they get through with that pitch, Carlton's on a frantic search for Amira. And I was trying to give her some benefit. I was like, maybe it is a little overwhelming for her, all this going on. Maybe she's taking the drugs, and truly trying to cope.
See?
But then I started thinking,
I do believe that.
I believe partially that's a part of it, but I think that stunt in the pool was also some manipulation on her part.
You're right, but you see that little bit of heart you trying to give, though. See, that's all I'm trying to do. You giving a little heart.
We said bless your heart. We said bless your heart. We know that you're trying to give.
I know what that bless your heart means, though. I can read between the lines.
Listen, she has an addiction, so we're definitely not trying to minimize that. Clearly, that's when we talked about that in the very first episode. That's a lifelong struggle. Yeah. And so she's clearly having a battle with that. But both things could be true. She is dealing with an addiction, but she's also messy and not a good right now. Maybe she could be if she gets herself together, but right now she is not a good influence for Carlton
at all. And thank God Lisa had that Narcan on hand because she was about to croak.
Yeah, I was going to say, listen, how many people had to keep Narcan on them? And that's what I'm saying. She would have been out of there.
If she was at my pool party, she would have been lost.
Yeah.
Do some CPR. I do some CPR and call 911, but I don't have no Narcan.
Right. Right. So I don't know. I got my all my eyes on Amira because I think that this is not the last time she pulls a stunt like that. I don't think this is the last time she's going to be messy. I think that she needs to commit herself to the rehab. She needs to take it seriously and really get to the root of her issues because I do believe she has a story. We don't really know it yet as to why she does the things she does, but she needs some serious help and she needs to stay away from Carlton.
Well, hope springs eternal. So I'm going to say that after all this, I think there's going to be a turnaround. I think she's going to loosen up a little bit and realize that she's not amongst enemies. She's amongst true friends. Hope springing eternal. So I'm only saying.
I think she might have a turnaround. I think what's going to end up happening, Carlton might have to end up cutting her off.
He has to. I think he sees now that, okay, she's definitely back on the drugs. So my family and friends weren't lying to me. Mm-hmm. And she was the one that was actually lying to me. So now he got to be looking at her with the side eye.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, though. Carlton, he's
strong.
Yeah. And then he has that very sympathetic side to him. I can see, well.
He'll probably wait until she heals a little bit because first of all, like, that attempt, like,
Yeah, that's
if she tried to kill herself, or if she accidentally fell in, whatever the case may be, or unalive herself. I couldn't see him cutting her off right then. He might wait until she gets a little better, a little stronger and stuff, and then he might make the decision like, I need to
be with you. Yeah, and I think the sponsor gonna be a big part of him pulling back from her. The sponsor gonna be like, we tried to like, this is not good for your sobriety.
Maybe he'll give her backstory. Maybe he knows her backstory. And
that's true.
Maybe he can bring that up with Carlton, and so Carlton can see the light. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if it's just left up to Carlton, he's not getting rid of it.
Right. So I'm giving Amira the hands. I also want to talk a little bit about Lisa, because she kind of opened up and talked about her family struggles, how she's been taking care of her baby brother, how the stepmom is basically absent and not helpful in her situation. So there's all of this pressure on her to be there for her baby brother and perform in school and in sports and whatnot. So she actually opens up to Aunt Viv as well and asks Viv to talk to her father, since there's a history there. To which Viv does, and her daddy completely shuts Viv down. And I thought Viv was coming from a good place. You know, she was very close with Lisa's mother, and she made a vow to say that I would look out for Lisa. And so she's doing just that. But it seems like her dad doesn't see how much pressure is to put on a teenager. And he doesn't seem to acknowledge that his wife might have postpartum depression.
I don't know. I don't know if he sees it or not, but I think where Aunt Viv made her mistake is that direct line approach that she did. And, you know, sometimes your personal, you know, problems that you're going through, you don't want to discuss with somebody like that. You know, she goes to his business and wants to talk about his personal problems. There's another way of doing that. I don't know what it is, but I felt a certain way the way she approached him about it, and he did what I thought he would do. He shut it down.
Well, he shut it down. A lot
of men would do that,
right? But he also shut it down because he knew that Aunt Viv was cool with his former wife, his ex-wife, and he thought all he could see was, well, you never liked her from the beginning, so he assumed that she was trying to come to him to talk about her because she didn't like her anyway, as opposed to the fact she was coming to him out of concern for Lisa.
Right. Yeah, it seemed like to him, it seems like Viv has a bias.
Yes.
Well, that's how but she does. It may not be with his new wife, but the bias is the wife. The bias is Lisa. You know, the point is,
Lisa came to her though. Lisa opened up to her.
Yeah, but my point is, you going to Lisa's dad, that's a whole nother bag.
But they already had that relationship. That's why she felt comfortable enough to do that.
Yeah, but he's always been a little standoffish to me anyways. You know, he's never been the type to me to seem like the type that he's gonna sit down, break bread with you at your dinner table.
Yeah.
Share ideas and things like that. He's not that type.
He showed his colors when they were in the race for the DA.
He did show his.
Exactly. So you already know who he is. So you just have to be extra careful when you approach someone like that. I don't know what she could have done differently, but that wasn't it.
Yeah. So I appreciated her efforts though to try to be there for Lisa. But maybe, her dad didn't want to hear it from Viv, but maybe he'll receive the message and ponder over it. And actually talk to Lisa, and she can express it for herself.
And I believe that.
I hope that that's the case. But, Lisa and Will also have some relationship issues. Lisa actually apologized to Jackie for her words at the street race. So I was like, okay, that was needed, because Lisa was very unnecessarily rude not unnecessarily, but she was definitely.
It was aggressive. Rude. Because again, as I said many times, they are boyfriend and girlfriend now. They were not at the time that she addressed Jackie like that.
Exactly.
Which made it unnecessary.
Huh?
Which made it
Lisa also kind of
that
might have apologized for the sake of keeping the peace with Will. And so I was like, I don't know how genuine the apology was. It was just awkward for the fact that Jackie got invited to the house and we here, and it's like, I don't want to kill the vibe. So let me just
Zaire did that though. Zaire invited them, but at the time he didn't know. He ain't know the history. He ain't know that Will used to mess with Jackie. Right. He ain't know none of that stuff.
That's why I want to give Zaire the hand too, because how you an invited guest inviting guests?
I'm trying to say you the plus one.
Yeah, well, like you said, Zaire probably thought, hey, we're all friends. It shouldn't matter. And so I don't think I'd give him the hands for that.
It's an honorable mention.
Yeah, I would ask though, like if I'm invited to something and I want to bring someone else, I ask the host, is it okay that I bring such and such such?
Mm-hmm.
I won't just show up to somebody's shindig with a plus one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's just common courtesy. You ask the host if that's okay. First.
Yeah, but he knew everybody else would have a plus one. So you don't want to be odd man out. So
but you still say, well, I'm gonna bring so and so.
I don't know. I don't know. Okay, here I go with bleeding heart again. I just think he didn't mean any harm by it.
No, I don't think he meant any harm. How could he? He didn't know the history. I'm just saying that if you're invited somewhere, you were bringing in a plus one, you make sure it's cool with the host,
right?
Because if had he asked Will up front, Will go ahead and be like, oh. Lisa,
nah.
You know, he could have shut that down. Right. And it wouldn't have been awkward like that. I was glad to see that Lisa did, handle her. So she did apologize and everything. And they tried to be, and they might have been all right. The only one, everybody was ready to rock until Amira was like, oh, just like that, Lisa, just go along with the. I said, see, that's messy. She was the one ready to stir up the pot, and then come with that messy game.
Yeah, that's she's on my hands list. Mine too. So she can go and she's got a spot there, I think, permanently this season. I don't know what she can do to redeem herself in my eyes. I don't know.
Now, I did not want when I saw her fall into the pool and all that stuff, I didn't want anything to happen to her. So I was hoping that she would be safe. Yeah. So I would say that when I saw what happened at the pool, I was hoping that she would be okay. But I still think she's messy, and I do agree with you being on the hand list.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Look, I'll take the hands list. I'll take that. I don't know about permanent, but I'll take the hands list. I was hoping that when she found the pool, she'll just backstroke to the other side. But I didn't know what she was trying to do.
Well, she was high.
Yeah.
She was high. So there was no backstroking.
Yeah. Now, before we leave the Banks household, I want to talk a little bit about Ashley, because Ashley has been having a whole lot going on with herself. She obviously left the girlfriend alone. She abandoned the plans to make a band, but Eli, he has been sticking around quite heavily, and so Phil is kind of like eyeballing her, like, this boy been over here, like, what's that you got on? Is that a little short skirt? And so he asked Ashley to change clothes, and she kind of pops off at the mouth, like, I don't dress to appease you.
Woo.
I was like, Phil had the right response. He was like,
what are you talking? Didn't we talk about that last week? And I said, if anybody was going, because you guys thought that Aunt Viv was a little lenient about her having a boy. I told you that Uncle Phil was going to be the one to say something about. Yeah.
But we also found out that Aunt Viv knew about her sexuality too. So
we did find out.
Phil mentioned it. He said that he thought she was into girls.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, see, there you go. Shall I jump into this shallow water?
Go ahead.
So no, because I'll probably get.
No, go ahead.
I'm not trying to get more ink, but let me say.
No, she's 12, 13. I think she's still trying to figure it out.
But look, this fluid thing, and see that messes everybody up. Now you think you think you want a girl. Now you're feeling like a boy, and stop it. That's what I said. I'm just saying.
I
think, Brian, you're expressing exactly what Viv was saying. She was like, as parents, we're new to this. We don't know how to deal with.
But neither do they. Neither do
we
they.
Don't know who.
That's what I said. She's still trying to figure it out because you see the guy. Look, as soon as he broke up with the boyfriend, he talking like he got his eye on
her,
on Hillary. I mean, on Ashley. And I knew all along that he liked Ashley.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, but you had a boyfriend. Now you want a girlfriend.
You can tell that both of them, they were getting cozy. You can tell that
they like beach chair.
Which is exactly why, like I said, Uncle Phil, if I were Uncle Phil, son, you want to come visit my daughter? You all go to the dinner table. It's not, and no happenings in the bedroom. I'm sorry, but I don't care what you are, gender fluid, gender solid. I don't care what you are. Go to the table in the dining room. This bedroom
but you see what Aunt Viv said. Aunt Viv said when she saw them all booed up on a beach chair, she was like, "It's not enough beach chairs around here." Right. So she even clocked it.
Exactly. So it's just when we talk about messy, that's messy.
Well, yeah, because they're saying, we don't know who to treat as a friend or as more than friends. We don't know whether male or female, what to kind of watch out for. And obviously they can't police her whole life. No. So it's like, just bear with us while we try to work through this. And I think they're going to deal with it together because like you said, I don't think Ashley even knows.
No, and she's still young. I mean, I think she's 12 or 13. So they're going to have to police everybody.
In my mind, it's unrealistic because kids going to do what they want to do, but she should not be dating, period.
That's what I'm saying. I said she's 12, 13. She's too young anyway.
And kids, and kids are so touchy-feely today. The trauma that can come behind all that, they commit, as you say, unlife themselves and things that is unlive. I don't know. I'll call it kill.
I just say that because the algorithm responds to that word.
Okay, they did themselves, and and they over some of the silliest things, and unfortunately, that's one of them. So it's a messy situation when while you're trying to figure out who you are, in the process, you're damaging those that may know who they are, and you're in their world, but then you step out rather abruptly because you want to try something else. It's just a dangerous thing. Her best thing is, as you said, not to be dating until she figures out who or what she is and who she wants to be with, and then go for it. But right now, you don't need to be dating anybody if you're gonna, because you're like a switch. It's on and off.
Yeah.
Too young.
Yeah. So I hope Ashley gets it together because it seemed like she told Aunt Viv that her and Eli were just friends. But as soon as he expressed interest in her, she seemed like she reciprocated it back.
Did you see her face? I was like, Ashley is open to this.
Of course.
Yeah. I was like, she liked that little boy.
That's her nature. And it's okay. It's her nature to like boys. Yeah. So it's fine with that. But again, hey, if you don't know what you want, just sit back and wait until but I don't know how. Well, I'm done. Next.
The parents probably gonna talk to her and probably let her know that she's like too young anyway to be dating.
Yeah, it's just too much for her at that point in time. I think that having friends is cool, but obviously when you got other people in your circle that are also dating, there's the pressure to also date. But I think for her, she's kind of like not the black sheep of the family, but she gets left behind a lot because everybody else has so many other major problems going on. And I think that she just wants companionship and belonging and stuff like that. So I think they're going to have to watch her, but they're going to have to make sure that they're not being too overbearing because she's going to start to rebel if they do too much with her. So watching Ashley. I want to talk about Miss Hillary because she has been standing by Lamarcus. That's her man, and she's going to stand beside him for now. And he decides that, he wants Carl and Wilson to be groomsmen in the wedding. And so they agree. But then he throws a little wrench in the plans and decides that, he wants to speed things up. He wants to get married the following week, which I was like, okay, that's fast. And I think it's because he's seen how Hillary has really paused her life for him. She put aside her business. Even when the planner was trying to push something on Hillary, she's like, nope, that's not where my wedding is not your marketing scheme.
I've always said that if you really want to know whether someone loves you or not, you got to go through something first. And when you go through it and they're still there, and you know, and that's what Hillary did. And I'm so hoping, you know, I fully understood why he wanted to speed it up. My concern is Hillary. I hope she's really authentic and she's
she is ready for this. But she's also conflicted.
Yes. I think she cares about him, but and she feels bad and she's trying to hold him down. But on the other end, I think that she is also feeling guilty because she kissed Jazz.
Okay, get over it. If that was just a kiss, get over it.
But she still has feelings for Jazz, and I think that's another reason why she's trying to like overcompensate with standing by him and stuff, because she has this guilt in the back of her mind. They're not getting married. Soon as Hillary finds out that Jazz is in the Bing and stuff, and she's gonna be invested. They're not getting married.
Well, I will give kudos to Lamarcus because that little re-proposal that he did and getting Dad's permission is. Yes. I was like, okay, Lamarcus with the vocals and, you know, the grand displays of love and whatnot. So I was like, you know, it's what they say in Waiting to Exhale. That's a good man, Savannah.
That's a good man. He is a good man.
And he asked
that's why he don't deserve to be second fiddle.
That's my point. He went and asked the parents for their permission. This was lovely. And Hillary, I'm telling you, my arms are going to stretch through the television if you don't marry this man.
Listen, the heart wants what it wants.
Okay.
And stuff. Like, you know, she probably...
Tiffany, if I had hair, I'd be pulling it right now. I mean, it's this, I want what I want, but I don't know what I want. And, you know, make up your mind. It's just. Did
you ever see The Notebook? Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah, okay, yeah, but okay.
All right, then. You see, she had two good men, and in the end, she had to follow her heart, and she chose Noah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what's gonna have to happen with Hillary. She's gonna have to make a decision.
That's a good man you're leaving behind, Hillary. If you leave that man behind, that's a good brother.
So Jazz not a good man. He a broke man.
Jazz is silly. Jazz is silly.
But Jazz
he got involved. He got involved with a criminal activity. Leave him in the Bing, okay?
Jazz was desperate. Jazz was desperate. That's all that was. He made a mistake. Jazz is not really a bad man.
I didn't say he was bad. I said silly. You made a stupid mistake. Just look, 6 months in the Bing will straighten that out for you.
I'm just saying, if you really love him, like I'm just saying, if she does not really love Lamarcus, she's not doing him any favors.
If she doesn't love Lamarcus, she's already destroyed his heart, Tiffany. My point being is, if you do not love this man, what you have done up to this point, you have literally, you can literally destroy this brother.
I think she loves him though. She does love him.
I think she does. Yeah, I think she loves him too. But sometimes it's like,
if that were a man, if it were flipped and the man was doing that to a young lady, y'all be all over that brother. Say, see how men are. I'm not
saying Hillary is not doing the right thing. Like we already know she's
right. We said that she's not doing the right thing.
More than not the right thing. She's destroying a good man.
Yeah, she is. I think that. See, the thing.
Listen, I told you that I thought Hillary was wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, if you love another man, you should have never accepted this man's proposal.
Exactly.
And Ashley had to tell her that. Ashley told her, like,
a 12 or 13-year-old.
You don't want to marry him. I saw you kissing Jazz. And then she said, I like Jazz. He grounds you.
Yeah. So I think Hillary got to definitely make a tough decision. And it's going to have to come quick because that wasn't supposed to be happening in 7 days.
Look, it ain't that
7
tough
long
for me.
days.
It ain't that tough
anyway, she ain't marrying that man.
And besides,
poor Lamarcus, he already got a heart problem, and messing with Hillary.
And besides that, there's a height issue. Okay, I mean, if you got on, look, if Hillary got down to her knees, she's the same size as Jazz. Look, I know. I'm sorry. It's a height issue, and okay,
Look, the
y'all don't want to
heart
roll with
wants
that.
what it
Y'all don't want to
wants.
roll with that.
Okay, Ron.
I'm just look. I'm the only. I'm trying to be blunt, honest, and truthful.
This might come up again.
Right.
There's a height issue. That's all. I mean, come on. Whatever. I'm just being honest. That's all.
Well, I think that Hillary is going to break it off with Lamarcus. I don't know if it's going to work out with Jazz, though, because he got a whole set of problems that he got to deal with on his own. So I don't see Hillary fully investing in Lamarcus if her heart is not there. But, somebody who is starting to invest their heart, it seems like Jeffrey. Once Penelope came over to the house and then they went to the Jamaican spot and was burning all up. He want that old thing back.
He does.
And she does too. And I was like, I was feeling that little spot and dancing and everything. I was like, okay, y'all.
Yes, it making me want a beef patty right now.
Yes, it made me want to look. I was dancing with him. I was like,
yeah, and it's like you said, the chemistry is undeniable between the two of them. Like they really do have great chemistry. And at first Jeffrey expressed that he wanted her to stay longer, but she said that she needed to return for work. But once Jeffrey made that display of masculinity for her and defended her after old boy bumped her in the club, Jeffrey shut that all the way down. And I think that won her over.
That fool. I mean, you could look at Jeffrey and think, maybe I won't try him. You bumped this girl, then you called her a name, and then you're gonna try to that one punch to the neck that he did was so sweet.
It was real quick too. Quick
y'all
chop.
might think I'm a violent person. No, I'm not. I just like to see people who ask for it get it.
Right.
He
was disrespectful though, so he deserved that.
Yes. He don't even be. You know what? He doesn't get my hands. He already got some.
Right.
He did.
Yeah, Penelope was like, I guess I can stay a little bit longer.
Yeah, we good. We good.
Yeah, so I don't know what that does for their situation because Jeffrey, his life is being threatened, his son's life is being threatened. And so Penelope is endangered by association. So I don't know that it's a good idea for her to stay. I hope that nothing crazy pops off. I hope nobody gets hurt, but we still don't know whether Roman was able to negotiate the deal. So
but I think it's even worse that she goes back alone. I think it is best that they stay together. Like I said, I mean, because, first of all, their gang is in London and, they're across the seas. And so Penelope is definitely wide open by herself over in London. I don't know how much Jeffrey could do to protect her if they want to come over and grab, and get them all. But to me, she's better off there because even with Uncle Phil, what he knows, the connections he has, I would think that it would be a little bit more difficult for a gang member or members to come and deal with Jeffrey over here as opposed to Penelope being overseas. So if just not for her own safety, keep her there.
Yeah, that might be a valid reasoning. So I'm waiting to see what's up with Frederick too, because he flew off the handle. We know he's upset with Jeffrey. So I hope he's been staying out of trouble, but knowing him, it's not likely.
So, well, you know what? It might be a little different. He may have a difference of opinion now that Jeffrey and Penelope are trying to get back together, hoping that that's what they'll do is work things out. And maybe that might be his reasoning for being the way he is in the first place, because he did have some resentment about Jeffrey leaving his mother, he and his mother. So, things may change for him as well. He's not such a bad person.
He's mischievous in my eyes. He always got some mess going on.
He is mischievous, but it could be for the reasons that you think, that the abandonment issues.
Yeah.
And because of that, he might be distrustful of Jeffrey too, because he might be like, hey, man, he left us before, and you shouldn't trust him. Like, he also could be. We'll see if he, falls in line, but he also could be kind of like, man, I don't know that you should trust him. He left us before.
Yeah.
Well, but he knows why, and I haven't seen that side of it yet. But it's not to say that it's not, that it can't happen or that's not how he feels. But I just think it has more to do with his mom than anything else.
Yeah. So, I want to see what happens with these next few episodes. We are already on 7 and 8, but 9 and 10, and that's it. So they don't have a whole lot of time. I think these last 2 episodes are going to have a whole lot going on. And it's going to be some hearts broken. And, maybe some other people getting abandoned. hopefully. So we'll have to see. We're really gonna have to watch and see. I'm excited to see what they have in store for us. The season so far has been excellent. It's really been very engaging. So it's not hard to, just watch this straight through and binge it. So you guys, we already talked a little bit about our hands list. So we already know Miss Amira, she got a permanent spot for now.
Amira is on. She deserves a spot on the hands list for sure.
I put Lisa's daddy on the hands list. Yeah. Who else do y'all want to put on the hands list? The activist that threw the started the arson.
Yeah, the arson.
I want to put Jazz on the hands list. I want to put Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil on the hands list for thinking that they were going to go that route. So they get that. They're on the hands list as well.
I'm not putting her on the hands list. They didn't go through with it. And they were trying to spice up their sex life. Not saying that they should do that to spice it up, but they are trying to invest in their marriage.
Yeah, they trying. I give them that, but not on the heels of infidelities.
No. I'm not saying I'm not co-signing that stuff. Right. I'm just talking about keeping the flame alive, right. Okay. So they won't. More Erica
they're on my hands list. They're on my hands list because of the infidelity, not the fact that they were trying to keep a flame going.
Right.
You want to keep the flame going, put some wood on. But I mean, and I do mean wood, but that's another story. But, so, but
keep it between them two.
Yes.
Right. Keep it between them two.
Exactly.
I think I'm also putting Ashley on the hands list for talking out the side of her neck. Crazy.
Oh yeah. She would have got some hands for real, talking crazy. I was like, Ashley.
Yeah, she was wilding. And I think I told y'all I'm giving Zaire an honorable mention for showing up and bringing people along with
exactly. Not asking for +1.
Exactly.
2-1, Zaire. So I'm with you, but
listen, on the list, so. If he had asked first, that's all.
Well, I had some parties where folks brought neighborhoods, so it's just the way it is. When you throw a party, people bring people that you don't even know.
Just show some courtesy.
Yeah.
You never know who you bring in and what history they got. I think Zaire learned a valuable lesson. So now, do we have a nomination? Well, actually, I think before we go to the game ball, I also want to add Omar to the hands list.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Yeah. What you mean, why?
He's a businessman.
He's a businessman, but he's also so unyielding. He is not willing to bend either way.
He's a businessman.
He is unyielding. Yeah.
Look, okay. If Uncle Phil takes if Omar takes Uncle Phil's proposition, that is, don't press charges, then to me, he's a good man. He's a good businessman.
Well, we're gonna have to see it.
Here's the thing.
We'll see.
Pressing charges for Omar doesn't do him any good either, because now he's tied up in court. So really, the best thing to do is, hey, just let it go. Maybe impose a fine with Uncle
community service, because that's one thing that they can do.
But you still don't want it in court, though. See, because Jazz, he still would have a record. My thing is to not get it in court.
Well, it's a lot of times if they get community service, they could do community service and then
to avoid the record.
to avoid the record, and they can it can come off after a certain time, and where the lawyer can apply for it to be expunged and all that stuff.
That's all depends on the prosecutor. You know,
yeah, that's why you cut the deal. That's
my point. Don't get it there in the first place. My point is to not get it in court in the first place, because you don't know what you're gonna have.
Jury's still out on Omar. Then we're gonna have to wait and see what moves he makes.
Leave Omar alone.
All right. We have. I was about to say it's not looking good, but I'll let him ride for now.
Keep that seat warm on
right.
Keep the seat warm.
Nominations for the game ball. Do we have a game ball for this week? And I don't see like a clear one. I was thinking Jeffrey definitely showed up and showed out.
Yeah.
An old boy stepped to his girl.
I agree.
I want to also give Lamarcus the game ball too, kind of, because he did show Hillary that he appreciated all she was doing for him. He was out there singing and dancing and just doing the works. So I did appreciate Lamarcus's efforts.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about. I want to give Lisa an honorable mention because she did essentially save Amira's life. And she, even though it was a messy situation, she did tell someone. If she never told anybody, then it could have kept going and kept going and kept going, gotten worse. So I was pretty proud of her for actually seeing something, and then being there to respond with the Narcan.
She was trying to be a friend to her too.
Okay.
Yeah,
I agree.
Okay. Well, do you guys have any other comments you want to add before we close out?
I'm good.
No, okay. Well, this episode was jam packed. These 2 episodes, they should have called it "Freaking and Fighting," because that's all it was freaking and fighting. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the last 2 episodes. So all the viewers out there, please make sure that you drop down in the comment section, give us your thoughts on these 2 episodes, as well as your predictions for the last 2 that are remaining. We would also love it if you would subscribe to our channel, like this video, and click the notification bell so you get alerted whenever we post. We got something up our sleeve, so that notification bell is going to be very important. And it relates to Bel Air. So also, if you are interested in, participating in some of our conversation, please, drop down into the comment section and let us know about your interest in participating. As well, the alternative to that is you can hit us up on Instagram in our DMs and, let us know that you're interested in participating, because like I said, we got something cool coming up and we'd love to have you all join us if possible. So Tiffany, Ron, y'all got anything else to add? All right. Well, on that note, we're going to call it a night. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
1, 2, check, 1, 2, I'm going in, is that an L? W is still a win. Got it off the muscle, all I know is hustle. All I know is making something out of nothing. What you think they see it? I had to hop in the kitchen, I'm really on fire, ignited, I know some people don't like it, I'm moving with flavor, they probably a bite it, Trendsetter, being better, I can't take the credit, wait. Been on fire, boy, that's flambe. Only time you see my head down is when I'm praying. When my back is turned on.